Alright guys, so today we're taking a look at a case that is really thin. Last year I reviewed it for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and I was a pretty big fan. Well, let's see if I feel the same way this year. And today we're taking a look at the Mous Super Thin 2.0 for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now, huge shout out to Mous for sending these cases over to me to review for you guys. The price on this case is $49.99, except for the Aramid version, which is $69.99. All links are down in the description below for you guys to check it out for yourselves. So, taking a look at the packaging, very simple classic Mous packaging here. You get the logo on the front, just this case on the back. Now, I do wish Mous would kind of change this packaging up a little bit. It does get a little cumbersome, especially when you're trying to put your case back in to the packaging. I'd really like to just see like a little paper box or something. Even like that, that'd be just fine. But you open up the box and you are greeted with your case in some paper, as well as a warranty card here so you can activate your Mous warranty, and a warning about the magnetic field. So feel free to pause that and read that for yourself. So anyways, let's go ahead and put all of this over to the side. Now, we are taking a look at the forest green version here. So this case is going to be made out of polycarbonate, but it does have a sort of soft touch finish to it, a little Mous logo right there, and then of course you get your camera bump here. On the inside, you're going to get that very nice microfiber here. You do get your MagSafe and alignment magnet, and then going around the sides, you're getting that polycarbonate material everywhere except for around your buttons and your cutouts. So let's go ahead and bring over our scale and our caliper. We'll weigh this thing and see how it fits on the phone. So, starting off, we're looking at 32 grams. Now, for a thinner style case, that's a little bit on the heavier side, but you don't really feel this case too much. It's not too thick in the hand, not too heavy, anything like that. So you really don't have to worry about that. Then, moving along to our caliper, let's go ahead and bring this over here. And going from front to back, we are looking at 10.9 millimeters, and from inside to outside, we are looking at 1.6 millimeters. So again, this is a pretty thin case. They call it the Super Thin 2.0 for a reason, and this case is pretty comfortable to use, but I do have one slight gripe that I would like for them to fix with it. So let's go ahead and take our natural titanium 16 Pro Max, and we'll go ahead and put it in the case and listen out for that click. It's okay, not a bad click on there. I think that's also partially, number one, because of these relief cutouts here. Let me move the scale. The relief cutouts, as well as it doesn't really grip onto the front of the phone. It just kind of sits around the sides. So let's actually see how this fits on here. Now going around the sides, completely solid. It has no give whatsoever. Bottom, top. The fit on here is super tight. Everything is good. And let's check out the corners. 1, okay, 2, 3, and 4. So the top two corners do have a little bit of a click on there. However, these bottom two corners, nothing at all. So that is one thing I would really like to see fixed. I think that even though this is a tight fit, it's not the best fit that I've experienced on a thin case like this. You know, the corners over here, they do kind of worry me a little bit. Even though they're not the easiest thing to take off, I'm worried that it's not actually that great of a fit on here. So is this case comfortable to use? And in all honesty, yeah. I mean, if you're someone like me, you hold your phone like this, no problems, not a pinky destroyer at all. But when it comes in terms to comfort, we'll look at this in a second close up, but the buttons. Last year, I was okay with the buttons, and I don't think anything really changed, but I guess maybe I've just experienced a lot more cases last year and this year already for the 16 Pro Max, and I'm kind of starting to get away from these open buttons that are just completely cut out, except for the camera control button. That's a different story. I'm talking about the volume up, volume down, action, and power button. I want to see either a little cutout completely for them, or a standalone or even a built-in button, which let's actually take a look at it real quick so you see what I'm talking about. On the top, you are completely closed in, of course. You do have your relief slits right there. Now, on the left-hand side, here's where I am talking about that. Now, the side is completely closed in except for your buttons, but if you guys see what I mean, it's just these buttons, especially I got big hands, so like, you know, clicking these, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but I would like to see the cutouts maybe just be completely cut out, to be honest with you. It'll be a much easier click. Or just put a little layer over here, some sort of TPU buttons or something, or even better, some plastic standalone buttons. Mous is already charging, $50 for this thing. I don't think a couple of buttons in there would cost too much to put in there. Right now, the buttons are a little bit difficult to get to. Now, moving along to the bottom, you do have your accurate microphone and speaker cutouts, as well as a pretty good USB Type-C port. Let's bring over a cable here, try that out. There we go. We are charging, and Yeah, so most of your thicker head cables should be just fine in here. You won't have any issues with the fit of those. And then moving along to the right-hand side, you're closed in except for your camera control and your power button. Now, like I said, that camera control button is not what I'm talking about when it comes to the rest of these, because I understand the camera control button, it's a touch-sensitive button, all those things, and really you just need to click it, and as long as it slides. Now, of course, you want to be able to click all these other ones, but I'm a lot more used to a cutout on the camera control button than I am everywhere else, and this is also a little bit of a wider cutout, so that way it's a little bit easier to get to the button. Now, speaking of the camera control button, like I said, nice smooth cutout there, so you can access it. Go ahead and scroll, zoom in, zoom out, do what it is that you need to do. Go ahead and take our usual picture here. There we go. And everything is good with the camera control button. But just when it comes to these other buttons, that's something that I would like to see an individual button for. Of course, one for the camera control as well. Who wouldn't, right? But I can give the pass to camera control as opposed to the other buttons. So let's go ahead and move on to that MagSafe test. Now we'll start off with our Apple MagSafe wallet. We'll attach that. There's our animation. And it's going to be okay. I mean, your wallet is on there. You do have to give it a little bit of force for that to come off. So I would just be a little careful with your MagSafe leather, your MagSafe fine woven style wallets, things like that. Now moving along to the Apple MagSafe battery pack. Attach that. There's our animation. And let's see. Shake it. Oh, my sleeve came down. Shake it. I feel it starting to slip. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Oh, geez. All right. So it's got to give it a good shake for that to go flying off. But that is definitely something to note. So just be a little bit careful with your accessories. Nobody's shaking them, but that is just something I did want to show you guys. And then finally moving along to our Anker 623. Let's go ahead and see how that does. And I mean, it's doing a pretty good job. It's letting me lift it up and down. Give it, oh, hold on. Give it a little shake of the wrist, and it's okay. So the MagSafe on this case is pretty good for your everyday, your car mounts, your MagSafe chargers on your nightstand, all your accessories, they'll be just fine. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of these colors. Now, like I said, we are looking at the forest green here. It's also going to come in clear with the black MagSafe ring. Aramid fiber, which is $69.99. Black, marine, and stone. So you get a few different color options on this case. Me, personally, I actually really do like the clear one. Of course, I still have the same gripe with the fit and with the buttons. Nothing really changes there. But the black also looks good. And then with the natural titanium, stone is going to look the best in my opinion. So what are my thoughts on this case? Do I recommend it to you guys? And the answer is it depends. If those buttons don't bother you, then yes, this is a nice, super thin case. It's got pretty good MagSafe, a pretty good fit, a tight fit. I just like to see that be a little bit of a better fit around the corners, but it's a tight enough fit to where I don't think that should be an issue. You're getting that super thin profile. It's nice and lightweight. Everything that you're kind of looking for in one of these really thin cases, this case provides. So if those couple of things don't bother you, absolutely, go ahead and pick one of these up. For me, I prefer, like I said, either a complete cutout for the buttons or I prefer an actual button. So for me, I would probably go with the Aramid fiber version, but I would also probably go with something else that's going to have just the cutout or the buttons. But let me know what you guys think about the Mous Super Thin 2.0 down in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. That goes a really long way for me and allows me to consistently make these videos for you. And if you guys want to see my review of one of my favorite really thin cases, I'll leave that video right there. But if you're like, nah, those super thin cases aren't really for me, I'll leave a really good, more protective style case right there.